Good evening. Yeah, it's not morning here, but I am in Louisiana. So I made it here. It was a pretty nice drive. I am in a parking lot of a Flying J. And still the tail end of this, but feeling better. Just tired, really. So, yeah, I have to clean this place. It's amazing. I clean every morning before, when I get up, before I leave. Everything is put where it's supposed to be. And then it's amazing in such a small space, in a short amount of time, how, oh, the heater just went off. How it's only like 50 here, 55, something like that. I thought Louisiana would be warmer, but it's not. Anyway, yes, the van gets messy really quick. So I know a lot of you are new here. Thank you for coming over and following this journey with me, from the article. And this is something a little different. I've talked about this before, and I know people said that it's helped them. And if you saw in the news that his name was Twitch, he was a dancer, he was on Ellen, he was her DJ. He was only 40, married. He's married to a girl, actually, who is from Minnesota. I just found that out because I was reading about him. And that he, I don't know, for some reason, could not stay on this planet. And, I don't know his situation. And what's funny, from the outside, he seemed like he had it all, a beautiful family, a lovely wife, a great career. Everybody said he lit up a room wherever he went. And I think especially now with the holidays, that a lot of people struggle. And, I just wanted to share, like I said, just because I know people said it helped them before. And I have no embarrassment about sharing. And if I share and it can help someone else, then that's all I really care about. So if you read my story in the article, or if you've been around, you know the reason why I bought the van and went on this trip. So my sister passed away. She was 42, and she died of cervical cancer. And it was a short period. She found out in October, right around my 28th birthday. And she passed away in January, on January 13th. And so it was a aggressive form of cancer. It was a rapid decline. And she was in hospice. All my family who passed away, that I talk about, they were all in hospice. But that was my first, other than my grandparents, who you always think they're old, which now that I'm almost 60, doesn't seem that old anymore, like 70 something. But I never had to deal with someone close to me. I had people that I knew, young people who had left this earth of their own volition, but no one like in my personal family close to me. And even before that, I dealt with panic attacks and anxiety, but sorry, it's a truck stop. I dealt with panic attacks, anxiety, like my whole life, basically, especially in high school. And, back then we didn't have the internet, we didn't have Google, didn't talk to my family about it, I didn't know what it was. And then when she passed away, I had never seen my dad cry before. And I remember coming home, and he was holding on to like the counter and just sobbing. And I can't imagine being a parent, you know, and not being able to do anything about, you know, you can't stop it, you can't help them. And so we were all in my family dealing separately with this, and we weren't much of a talky family, you know, like sharing our feelings and stuff. And I'm the youngest of 6, so I've always pretty much felt alone in that most of my family was out of the house. My oldest sister is, I think Sandy's going to be 73 on Christmas Eve. 73 or 74. I don't want to age her too much, so I'll say 73. So we all kind of dealt with it on our own. And I remember how I dealt with it. So I've always worked out, I've always been athletic. And I would go to the gym 2, sometimes 3 times a day. I didn't know where to put that sadness or that energy. And then remember at night, I would go home and I would drink, I'd have some beers, and I'd smoke. So it was interesting. I'd work out like a banshee, and then I'd drink and I'd smoke. I just didn't know what to do with those feelings. And then it got to the point where I remember sitting on the steps at my parents' house, in their house, and just feeling like, you know, what's it all about? Like, it was a really low point. And then I knew that I wanted to talk to someone because I couldn't talk to my family, and I couldn't really talk to my friends because they had never been through that before, and I didn't want to bring them down. And so I was going to the U at the time, the University of Minnesota, so I had insurance through them, and I went to talk to somebody there. And I remember you have to fill out a form before you go in. And I remember going in and sitting down, and the first thing he said to me was like, "Oh my gosh, you're suicidal." And, you know, we got to do something about this. And mind you, this was, you know, I'm 57, so this was, 30 years ago? And I said, you know, no, I'm not. I said, I just want someone to talk to, because I didn't know how to deal with it myself. And I ended up never going back, because the way he just like put that out to me right away made me feel worse than I already felt. And so I just carried that myself for a long time. And yeah, I've had other things happen. Yeah, I went through infertility treatments. I was married before I had my daughter with her dad, and we tried to get pregnant, but we couldn't. And for a year, I went through infertility treatments, and that is not fun. And just a bunch of personal stuff. And, you know, and then my brother-in-law got sick. And that was kind of the turning point as far as like me thinking, you know, why us, why this family, you know, and why me. And then when he got sick, after he passed away, I thought, you know what, that was like a light that clicked, and it was like, wow, life is short. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like, not that I was victimized, but it was like, why me, why this, why does this happen to us? And then my whole attitude turned around, and it was like, well, life's short, I'm just going for broke, and, you know, try and do what I can to live life. But still dealing with panic attacks and stuff like that. And just coming to say that, so after I had my daughter, I was dealing with postpartum tremendously. And I remember calling my doctor, and I knew her really well. And she's like, "Tracey, we're going to put you," it was Zoloft, I think, at the time. And I remember her prescribing it to me. I remember going to get it. And then I remember thinking, you know, like the stigma of that, like, oh, I don't need this, I can do this by myself. And I never took it. And so about, I don't know, 4 years ago, 5, 6, time goes by so fast, I started getting panic attacks again and anxiety, and not just like every now and then. It was like the minute my eyes opened in the morning, I had panic, just sheer panic. And I knew it wasn't like there was nothing threatening me, but something in my body was just triggering panic from the minute I woke up. I could never get away with it. And it's funny because that's when I started making bracelets. I was working at the law firm, and I'm like, I need something to like keep me busy at night to focus on so I don't think about stuff like this. And believe me, everybody in that law firm got a bracelet because I was making bracelets like nobody's business. And I tried everything. I went to a Buddhist temple, asked Joy. I brought Joy with me. It was lovely, very lovely. You know, but I thought, oh, if I go to a Buddhist temple, they seem really chill and, you know, don't have anxiety. You know, I work out, I eat right. I did whatever I could do myself to try and fix it or make it go away. And I couldn't. And then I decided to go see a therapist. And I went to see this woman. And I remember how lovely she was, because she just looked at me. I was on the couch, and she said, Tracey, you don't have to suffer. And even just somebody saying something like so nice to me, or just like, you know, like, I was like, I don't. And, you know, she said, Tracey, there's like a chemical imbalance, or there's something going on. And so we worked with my doctor, and love my doctor too. She's amazing. And so I'm on 10, is it milligrams of escitalopram? Every day. It's Lexapro. And I still take it to this day. And honestly, it set me free from like the rumination of like maybe awful things gonna happen, or just that sheer panic or anxiety. And I'm only talking about my situation and my experience. So, but I just want to share, because if you feel the same way, and I know especially around the holidays, listen, when my sister passed away and she was in hospice, she was only like 70 pounds, 75 pounds. Wow, I haven't cried in a long time about her. That's it was like after that we really didn't have a Christmas for quite a while. Joy used to decorate all the time, and you know, all this stuff. And then after that, she just would put up like a tiny Christmas tree. And I'm glad I found that through then, because then, you know, my dad passed away, and then my brother got cancer and he passed away, and it's really helped me. And just reaching out to someone and finding like the right person to reach out to, you know, a professional that I could talk to and tell like, you know, secrets to that I wouldn't tell like my family or my friends, you know, because maybe I was embarrassed or just didn't want to put that out there. That I'm so grateful that I reached out to someone, because I thought I could do it on my own. I thought a Buddhist temple would help. I thought working out 3 times a day would help. I thought drinking and smoking would help, and none of it helped. And then, you know, I've been dealing with headaches. If you haven't been around, and I would share, I dealt with headaches a lot in the past, quite a few years. I actually had endometriosis, and they think that's one of the reasons why I couldn't get pregnant. But then I did get pregnant with Jesse's dad, and I wasn't on any fertility or anything. That happened naturally. But, and I was just feeling crappy. And, you know, I've been through menopause. And just about, not even 3 months ago, I just filled my prescription. So it was 3 months ago. I went to the doctor, and I was telling her, you know, how I felt. I had insomnia, all this stuff. And then she prescribed me progesterone and estrogen. And it's the lowest dose. But again, you know, you think, yeah, I shouldn't be taking that. Or, you know, you get all these feedback from different people, whatever. But from the first week, my headaches were gone and have not returned. You know, and I'll get like normal headaches here and there, but every morning before I would wake up and have this headache in the back of my neck, and I thought it was like a tension headache, or I thought it, you know, was because I was going through menopause, but I was already through menopause because they take a blood test, because they said it goes by the symptoms, not, they just test your blood to make sure that you're already in it. And so I take progesterone and estrogen, and it has been, I mean, I feel so much better. And so all this to say that if you're struggling, and I know sometimes, you know, with nowadays people don't have insurance and stuff like that, I know there's places that you can reach out to. If you're really feeling in a situation, you can dial 988. But, you know, just reading about him, and you think life is hard. Life is hard for all of us. And that's the thing, like when you see van life and you see all this, like these are snippets of people's lives, but a lot of times it doesn't fully represent what's behind the scenes. Like I'm sleeping in a Flying J parking lot, but for me, honestly, I found solace in being alone on the road. And I told you, it has helped me heal. The first year, it was about my outside circumstances, like how do I travel? How do I do this? It's scary driving. I don't like bridges. And I've kind of pushed through that. And now it's internal work, which is even harder. But I've realized how resilient that I am. And you know, when I talk about your magic, that's it. And you know, people can be like so mean, and especially in this day and age, it just seems like it's all about money, and it's all about, I don't know, I think sometimes people are mean or say mean things, or, you know, and it's like clickbait. Do you know what I mean? Like, we need this drama. I thought it was funny because a couple people said, that dog wasn't doing anything. You're so dramatic. And I'm like, listen, I mean, I think I'm like the least dramatic person. I don't like drama. I don't want to cause drama. I just want things to be like even keel. And, but if I tell you I'm scared, I'm scared. It's not anything I'm making up for a video, believe me. And, you know, people using clickbait, and then, just making up all this stuff so people will watch, because people want to be seen. And I think that's a lot of it. People want to be seen. I think that's a lot of times why people are so mean, because they just want to be heard, and maybe they haven't been seen, and they're like, well, this will do it, because then they get a reaction, even though it's not a good reaction. But I just wanted to sit down and talk about my life and how I've kind of worked through things. It's hard work, and I know it's hard taking that first step, but like I say, like with anything, you got to go through it to get to it. And that's not just in van life, that's in just normal life with anything. And just know nobody gets away with having a perfect life. And sometimes when it looks like it, sometimes maybe they're putting it out there to hide the fact that it's not so perfect. But I just wanted to tell you that, yes, I've dealt with panic attacks, anxiety my whole life, and then especially through all the things I've been through. And like my therapist said, Tracy, you don't have to suffer. So I hope you know you don't have to suffer. And I hope you can reach out to somebody, a professional, and get help. Sorry. Good lighting though. Oh, cool. All right. Yeah, this is just a little different, but with that happening, I don't know. It shocked me. He just seemed so happy, and like he has a young family. He has a beautiful wife. You know, he didn't, as far as I know, have money problems, you know, so you could have everything and still be suffering. And I just want you to know that sometimes, you know, when I say don't forget your magic, that's when we forget it. But you never lose it. So it's still there. Sometimes you just have to find it. And sometimes you need help. And there's no shame in getting or asking for help. No shame at all. No shame in the game. Nope. Like I said, I'm on escitalopram, I'm on progesterone, and I'm on estrogen. And I feel better than ever at 57. Boom, boom, boom. I'm gonna get fit when I get to Georgia. But yeah, so yeah, reach out to someone if you're, especially like I said, the holidays now, they're tough for a lot of people. And somebody asked me if I was having a live on Christmas, and I've been thinking about that because, you know, I won't be with my family. And actually my family, my sister usually has Christmas Eve. And I won't go into this because this isn't my story to tell for everybody, but my family has pretty much disintegrated what's left of us ourselves. And that's hard. So I get it. I get it. And I think it's one of the reasons why I'm on the road. Because it's kind of depressing. Like, she's not even having Christmas Eve. I'm 57. There's never been a time we never had anywhere to go on Christmas Eve because that was always it. So you're not alone. You're not alone if you are alone. I'm alone too. I mean, I got Joy, and you know, but I'll physically be alone. I'll be with Keith and them, but if I can get Wi-Fi, then I will have a live on Christmas, and we can have drinks together, and we can eat together if you want. And I would really love to have a Zoom because I like to see other people, but I'll try and figure something out, okay? Maybe I'll do a small group of Zoom if people want to do that. Maybe on Christmas Eve. I'll think about this. I guess I don't have much time, but okay. I just wanted to sit down and let you know I have a lot of new followers too, and even the old ones, like I talked about this, I know people said it helped them. And you know, for me, somebody else, people have said, you know, thanks for taking me on the hike with you because I can't walk and I would never be able to do that or see that. And you know, I've thought this for a long time. Even though I'm very athletic and doing the kind of things that I do for adventures are what I love to do, but I somehow feel like I'm living for my family members who don't get to anymore. And then I feel like I want to pass that on to you guys too, because maybe you guys aren't able to get out and see the things that I'm seeing. So I hope that helps some of you. It makes me feel good when you let me know, like when that person wrote, and there have been others, and you know, it's just me sharing what I'd be doing anyway. So it makes me feel like that's kind of my purpose. And it makes me feel like this journey, the van life, isn't just for me to heal, but it's to maybe help other people too. Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go enjoy the Denny's parking lot. There's a casino here too. Too bad I'm not a gambler. I'm too frugal. I gotta clean the van anyway. Okay, you know what to do. Go out and make an adventure, no matter how big or how small. You don't have to sell everything and move into a van. You could be sitting in a Flying J for the night and listening, having the big trucks lull you to sleep. Go call someone you love, and as Joy says, tell them that you love them. And from the bottom of my heart, do not forget your magic. And just know, if you need help, please reach out to somebody, a professional. Okay? Okay. I will see you in the next one.